absorbed in, and you are Sonic.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to No Repeat, a podcast where each week we pick 3 songs with no repeats and no do-overs to create a perfect playlist for every occasion life throws at you. Joining me are my co-hosts, Tyler Reed.
Hey, everyone!
And Sean Evans.
Yep. This week, Taylor challenged us to find the perfect song to listen to in a Target parking lot during the holidays. Taylor, can you explain more about what that really means?
Yeah, the exact phrase I used was going for a drive to get away from your family at the holidays, but sitting in the Target parking lot also counts. It's basically when you've spent like 3 straight days at your family house or at the vacation home or wherever you celebrate the holidays with your family, and after like 36 to 48 straight hours with them, you're just like, I need to get out of here. And so you get in your car and you turn on some loud music and you just drive around town until you find a Target parking lot or an empty field or somewhere that you can just go sit and have some space for a minute. I don't know if anybody else experiences this, but it's something that I usually feel like halfway through the day on December 26th after I've spent all of Christmas Eve and all of Christmas Day with my family. I'm like, I love y'all, but I need a minute.
Sounds about right. I'm glad that you specified that it was to get away from your family, because I feel like for some of our listeners, they might be at that point still where going and listening to music in the back of a parking lot, you might want to choose a more sultry song, maybe more romantic in nature.
Yeah,
but not for us.
This isn't that kind of drive.
No. This is a very purposeful and driven drive. What was your methodology, Tyler? You seem to have one of the more interesting songs that I've ever heard in 2018.
This was a challenging one for me because I actually find myself kind of in this position more often than not around Christmas specifically, because I usually go home with my family. I mean, they live like 30 minutes away, so I'm not really going home. But my mom works third shift at a hospital, so she frequently has to either miss certain holidays or just has to sleep, through certain parts of the day. So more often than not, I have to make Christmas Day's dinner because no one else is going to. So mine is kind of a little different, where I'm kind of like just trying to keep my cool, where I'm like, I'm just trying to make this dinner. I'm going to go get whatever. Sometimes it's Chinese. Sometimes it's an entire 3-course meal, This year, I'm planning ahead, though. I asked, I was like, are you going to be there? Mom, are you going to be able to make dinner? She said, no. So I'm like, great. I'm going to plan this out.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was one of your responsibilities now.
It apparently is.
What's on the menu this year?
I don't know yet. I'm going to plan it out this week.
Yeah,
it's on the Tuesday.
You got lots of time still. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not actually that worried about it. The fact that I've planned even a day in advance is a Christmas miracle in and of itself. So I had a few different songs I was kind of trying to choose, but I think the vibe I was trying to go for is I just wanted like a wall of sound that would just kind of envelop me in the car as I'm probably driving through like suburban Ohio with nothing else going on. No one's on the road. So I'm like, I just need this wall just to kind of to be all around me.
Is that what it sounds like most of the time?
That's right, Meshuggah.
Okay, because that's not what your song sounds like, but that's what I imagine most of the suburbs of Cincinnati sound like now.
Right.
To be fair, I mean, that's basically the direction that I went with my pick. All of my choices were loud, angry punk rock songs, because going home makes me feel like I'm back in high school and makes me want to listen to lots of loud, angry punk rock songs again. And I feel like especially this kind of like third wave of emo pop punk that has these big like group vocals or gang vocals, it really like pushes your car stereo to the limit and does that kind of enveloping thing that Tyler's talking about. And so that's what I was looking for. I was trying to find songs that had like big, huge, screamy choruses that I could like blast and blow out the bass in my tiny little Mazda stereo because usually when I'm like in that mode where I'm just like, I gotta get out of this house, I'm not gonna go that far. Like, I'm probably only gonna go around the corner to Walmart to like pick up a gallon of milk or something. But I'm still just like, I need to make every second of this drive count because it is the only 5 minutes of alone time I'm gonna get today. And so, you get 2.5 minute punk songs in each way to Walmart. I mean, that's practically half of a Descendants album right there. 4 songs there and back.
I just wanted a nice, get me into a zone of happiness again song. My song has a lot of pleasant memories attached to it, and it also has a really easy to understand message.
It is pretty straightforward.
That's about all I got to say about that.
There was this moment where I was like looking at my playlist for this, and I was like, man, all of these songs are like a little too on the nose. Like, I'm gonna blow one of my B-sides early, but I had Parents by Descendants on my list. And I was like, this song is too on the nose. Like, the main line of the song is, Parents, why won't they shut up? Like, I wanted to be a little more subtle than that, but I do sometimes listen to that in the car when I'm home for the holidays.
Last year at Christmas, my dad made me take off my beanie at the table because he said that we don't wear hats at the table, and he just kind of would not stop with that. I was kind of already over it at that point in time. I had reached my 24-hour limit, and I just had to go. I just had to leave. So Sarah and I went to TJ Maxx and Dick's Sporting Goods and shopped around.
How does it feel to have that kind of person there that's just always got your back and is ready to just bail whenever? That's got to be a pretty good feeling. Because for a while, Cather and I had just always done separate events, so we never had that opportunity to just bail.
Oh, well, now that's easy because we go with each other. I think this will be like the second or third year that we've been together at each other's Christmas events. So inevitably when bad stuff does happen, the other person's there to either like kind of walk you back from the brink or just be like, hey, so I forgot that I left the cat oven on inside of the toaster car, so we're gonna go. Turn that off. And we'll be back in like 6 months. Bye.
So, Sean, did you want to go first with your song this week? What you got?
Yes, sir. This week, my choice is Smoko by The Chats.
His milk crate thrown. He eyed me off as I approached. And then he said, I'm on Smoko. So leave me alone. I'm on Smoko. So leave me alone. I'm on Smoko. So leave me alone. I'm on Smoko. So leave me alone.
Okay, so my first introduction to this song was by my best friend Greg. He sent me this out of the blue, and he was like, you have to listen to this band. This song is so good. And upon first listen, I was absolutely in love. And I think the more that I look around on the internet, the more this song starts to pop up by like rock stars that I really like. Like, I know Josh Homme kind of said this was one of the best songs ever written, probably. I don't know how he came to that conclusion, but he did. And I was like, yeah, so when I get into kind of a funk and I need to get out of it, I just tell myself, I need a smoko, so leave me alone. Just want to yell that at people. It just seemed like such a good situational song for this kind of event.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly perfect for this challenge. Like, the song is literally about being on a smoke break at work and want everyone to leave you alone. And the video is, like, low budget, and the song is kind of gritty and hairy and cheaply recorded, and, like, everything about it is just, like, angry and young and, like, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. Like, it's very bratty, which I think fits the mood very well. I could see myself, like, driving through the suburbs screaming, I'm on Smoko, leave me alone. Because you just need people to leave you alone. You're on Smoko, you know?
Which, of course, no one will understand what that means. But they would if they understood context clues.
Or if they were Australian.
Or if they were Australian. I think it's funny that Sean decided to choose this song at this time, because I think we all had this in our back pocket, ready at just the right time. And honestly, I didn't think it would be within the first 50 episodes of the show. But okay, alright, we're here. We're doing it.
There's just not a better one that fit for this, and I'm sorry if I took away anybody's kind of like,
No, you know what?
haha, song, but this is exactly what needed to go here.
I just think that this is an example of one of those. I'll call it. I'm gonna say it. This is a perfect song. So you're like, what is the perfect situation for this? I'm not saying this is the best. I think this is like a 4 out of 5. I'm like, this is
God.
like, this is a pretty good use of this song. Like, I would listen to the song on purpose during this event, like I had described.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that could be more perfect is if you were listening to music on your smoke break.
Well, let's not lie. In some respects, being around your family for a long time right now is a full-time job. And sometimes you just need a smoko, and you need them to leave you alone. And you just want to yell it sitting on your milk crate.
I feel like this needs to be like a new young people's union where like everybody under a certain age, we all unionize and say we are required to take a 3.5 minute smoko for every 8 hours we spend around our family at the holidays. Like, the clock ticks down, the bell rings, we punch our cards, go outside for a smoko, and then come back in.
Do we have to also listen to the song as well? Is that a requirement?
No, it's just the spirit.
How will you know when?
Well, it's exactly 2 minutes and 59 seconds long, the same length as the song Smoko by the Chats.
Well, I'm just saying, it would be a really nice timekeeper if we just use that song as the metric. How many smokos do you need? You could do several. It's like the McDouble theory.
I'm sorry, can you explain the McDouble theory for me? I'm not sure about this.
I don't know if that is the correct wording, but friend of the show, Janet, has said out loud that she likes to determine the worth of most items by how many McDoubles it would take to purchase that item. So she's
like,
right.
I want this $20 dress. She's like, that. Oh, but that's also 20 McDoubles.
Is it worth?
Would I rather have a dress or 20 double cheeseburgers? Well,
that's a good call.
How many smokos do you need? 5.
It's like measuring the
20?
world in Danzigs. It's all
100.
part of the new measurement system we're going to roll out when our government takes over.
No, you're right, because the distance from someplace, from Cleveland, is measured in Danzigs. And then you kind of have to also factor in how many double cheeseburgers it would cost you to get there, weighed against the amount of double cheeseburgers you would earn on whatever metric of smokos you were on at that particular time. So once you have all this down, you can kind of position where you are and where you're going in like a physics kind of way, you know?
Yeah, it's important to build smoko time into your travel.
Right.
1 smoko for every 4 hours of driving, for example.
Yeah, I think it's like, well, wouldn't it be like 20 smokos for 1 drive? I think it would roughly be about that, give or take. You could have like a leap smoko at about 10 hours, probably.
Great pick, Sean. Love this song.
Tyler, what did you pick, bud?
I chose the song Feel the Lightning by Dan Deacon. Dan Deacon is what I would call an electric weirdo. He makes lots of beep boop sounds on various instruments and makes it sound real weird. He also makes his voice sound strange. And he was on NPR Tiny Desk, so that automatically gives him some clout. I chose this after kind of mixing around with a few different kinds of songs, but I think I ended on this one because, as I said in the discussion, I really just wanted a song that just kind of consumes you, that fills the room, that gives you just this powerful wall of sound that kind of just feels good. Like, not all walls of sound are pleasant, like Meshuggah. However, this is a pleasant one. You know, it's just, it almost feels nonsensical. You know, the lyrics are barely audible. You know, you can just kind of feel this just kind of beat kind of in the background. It just kind of keeps going. Just kind of keeps going. It's just this real steady flow. None of those were words.
So, on second listen, I like this song a little bit better. The first time when I saw it, I will make reference to the video because that's what it was posted on, but this is a musical podcast, so please take this song to the next level and go watch the video. But yes, no, you're right. It is a bunch of weird beeps and boops with some very, like, vibro-phased lyrics and a very interesting book. For those of you who haven't watched the video, it's called The Fun of Sex.
This video is artful and educational.
Right.
See, I should have just given the NPR Tiny Desk video because that probably would have been better for this interpretation, because I had honestly not watched the music video. I was like, oh, this will be fine. How weird could it possibly be? And that was a mistake I made.
You bring up a really interesting point, Tyler, because I am not a huge fan of Dan Deacon. I respect what he's doing, but I never really got into it. But a few years ago at the Bunbury Festival in Cincinnati, I can't remember if you were with me or not, but I saw part of Dan Deacon's set, and he's incredible live. That Tiny Desk is amazing. We'll put a link in the show notes. But the stuff that he does on stage and the way that he can command an audience while also playing like 5 different instruments and singing, it's really cool. And this song, when you like view it in that context and understand how much of it is him, is really interesting. That being said, the video is a little weird. The song itself is very kind of flat. Like, it doesn't have a lot of dynamic shift to it, which I've heard some of his music that's more dynamic and like a little more exciting than this, I guess. So this song didn't do a lot for me because it just felt kind of like the same mode for 5 minutes. It's also just a smidge too long for me. But, like, I like what it's doing, and I like the sound palette that it's working with. Like, the synth textures in particular are really cool. I like how kind of, like, buzzy the pad synths on this are. But, I don't know. I guess I just wanted it to either, like, go somewhere different or be a little bit shorter.
I think that's a fair point. As per the rules of the show, if a song is longer than 4 minutes, it better use that extra minute very well. By our metrics, you're right. The song probably could just be 4 minutes and be just fine. That's fine. I think you're right that also that Dan Deacon probably goes in the same category as Matt and Kim, where they have a great live performance, but their singles or their recordings are good, but just don't have that same energy, that same power. Same as like maybe like Royal Blood, where you see him live and you're like, wow, this is a performance.
So I opened up the Tiny Desk concert because I wanted to see what Dan Deacon looks like and what his concerts are. And this is actually pretty amazing to watch him do this. And it almost doesn't remind me so much of Matt and Kim. It reminds me of a more synth-driven Arcade Fire.
Yes.
Because it's so like it's so like, I don't know, I was going to say textually deep, but that's not the right word. It's sonically, it has a lot of sonic depth. There we go. That's a good vocabulary thing for this podcast. That there's so many layers, and I didn't realize that. It was awesome to see the player piano for this song, because I didn't realize that's what it was. And then he just has kind of like a board in front of him that he kind of sings into and tweaks a little bit of this and a little bit of that with some loopers, it looks like. That's awesome. That is really spectacular. And you're right. He made the NPR people over here in DC do a circle pit, kind of, which was weird.
Imagine a room full of librarians all doing a mosh pit, a circle pit. So it's about what it looks like.
Yeah, when I saw him at Bunbury, he had kind of a small crowd in front of his stage, and there was like a bigger stage across the way that people were gathering at for the next show. And he told all of the people at his stage, he was like, all right, when the bass drops in this song, I want you all to turn around and sprint away from this stage as fast as you can in every direction and see what people do. Like, that's the kind of performer he is. He just kind of like does weird stuff with his audience while making this really intricate music. If you've never watched any Dan Deacon, definitely check it out. I think Tyler's right. This song does have that wall of sound effect like a lot of his music does. And I can see how in the car it could be really helpful. It does kind of feel like something that would have been on the soundtrack to like a mid-2000s indie movie starring Michael Cera.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's the exact vibe I want.
Yeah, so if that's what you're going for, and it's like the driving montage at the midpoint of a Michael Cera movie, then this song is your jam.
Maybe I should just pull it out the Kenya Dawson. I mean, why not? Why would I just go full Michael Cera?
Do you like this song? Like, did you pick this song because when you get stressed, it's kind of fun to be goofy? Does that help you kind of blow off some steam if there's like a lot of tension?
You know, that's a good point. and a good perspective. And something I didn't probably realize is that why I like Dan Deacon, because he is a very strange individual. He's kind of goofy, and the music's kind of goofy. So maybe I don't think I consciously decided that. The other main contender was a Porter Robinson song, which is like features Vocaloids, and it's another kind of electronic song. So, like I think I just kind of landed on Dan because I don't know, it's just something I've just never heard before, and it just kind of almost just has like a calming feeling. I don't know.
Just curious. Okay. So Taylor, what Irishy sounding folk band name did you pick for your music this week?
Yeah, so I picked Medina, Ohio's McCafferty and their song Paper Pencil Copyright.
In pencil always for me, never around the creativity I see from my burnout friends. I read from their drunken texts. I see from the eyes of dirt. Gone forever, gone forever.
So Paper Pencil Copyright is off of McCafferty's latest album, Yarn, which is supposedly their last album. It sounds like they're going to break up. But I really, really like this song. The whole album is very good. It's one of those like albums that restores my faith in pop punk as a genre, because it's doing interesting things that feel in line with where the genre has been, but kind of push it to places. There's a lot of lyrical depth that I enjoy. But at the same time, this is an old school pop punk song with a big whoa-oh chorus. Like, there's so much woeing in this song.
The millennial woe is real. Yeah. Hey-oh, step aside. You've been dethroned as the song that can say the least by saying the most.
Oh my god, is Whoa-Oh the oi of our generation?
Yes, absolutely.
This fits very well into that oi, like, kind of punk, where it's just like, repeat the same syllable over and over and over very loudly. The song is kind of about, like, being frustrated with your parents and with authority figures. Standard punk stuff.
When is it not?
But it's got that great whoa chorus, and it has this really nice bridge of I will see myself out that repeats a bunch of times, so you can really like get into the mood and like scream that along as well. Like, there aren't a lot of words to this song, and it's very it's very well enunciated. So I feel like by the third time through it, you should know most of the words and will be able to sing along. And it's just got a killer riff to it, too. Like, this song is a jam. I'm very into it right now. And I will totally blast this in my car on December 26th when I'm driving to Target.
Oh, so you go after the holidays.
Oh, yeah, because you're not allowed to leave the house on the 24th and the 25th. Those are family days. Yeah.
What?
2 straight days in the house.
Oh, no.
Taylor is forever entombed within his house.
Right.
He
so
cannot
by
leave.
Lunchtime on the 26th, everybody scatters to the 4 winds because we're like, oh my god, we gotta get out of this house.
His soul is shackled to the house in which he grew up in.
Go, 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 go. Everyone, you like get up early on the 26th and you're like,
sometimes.
bye. And then you just sprint out.
Depends on how Christmas Day went.
Smooth Christmas Day, not that much. Hard Christmas Day.
I'm meeting somebody for breakfast at Waffle House.
I was gonna say, after Christmas party, like, interesting.
So I started to listen to this song, and I was like, how long the woe's gonna go on? And I skipped ahead a few times, like, well, it's still going. And I was like, well, maybe they said some words in between there. No, that just woes. I was like, all right, Taylor, what are you doing here? What is this song? But for a song that says literally whoa-oh for half of it, it's not that bad. It's like, it's definitely a jam. It's a jam, as much as I don't want to admit it, and I'm into it. I don't want to be into it, but I am. It's
very stereotypical, and if you don't like pop punk, you're not gonna like it, but if you've ever enjoyed pop punk, it hits all the right buttons.
Exactly. It just feels like, maybe I'm too old for this. Maybe this is maybe I shouldn't be amused by 5 young lads saying whoa together in unison while they strum with their guitars feeling infinite.
I don't know if I love this song that much. It's a little lacking for me, even though they're from Medina, which is not that far away from LeBrakron. But I don't know. I feel like I've been really out of the pop punk mood for like the past year or so. There's just not that much where I'm like, yeah, oi, or something. I don't know. What do you say? Yo ho or something, right?
Yippee!
Whee!
Yep. Yippee!
It's not like this is a bad song. It just doesn't. I don't know. This would be my first choice. It's not really angry enough.
Well, I would say that
It's not really telling off enough or weird. Like Tyler's made me feel like I need to get more weird stuff into my life.
I think we've somehow put ourselves into a real standard. How many episodes is it?
This is
This is
9.
like 10 episodes, right? 8? 9? I feel like we've already developed our clear biases in genre. Taylor's pop punk, Sean is the nebulous garage rock, alt rock, indie space, and I'm electric bleep bloops. And you know what? For Taylor, this is the perfect Yelly boy band. This is his
Yelly.
perfect.
Hi, I'm Taylor, host of Yelly Boy Band. This week on Yelly Boy Band.
We're gonna yell.
We're gonna yell in 3-part harmonies. Yeah, I mean, you're right. That's basically what this is. It's like screamy boys are upset about things. But, you know, sometimes that's what I need.
Sometimes you just need some screamy feeling time.
Yeah, sometimes.
It's okay. Most challenges I want to pick a Less Than Jake song, and I don't. So, there's that.
So now it's time for notable B-sides, the songs that were oh so close to making it but didn't make the cut. Anybody got some notable B-sides?
So I had lots of Yelly boy band B-sides. As previously mentioned, Parents by Descendants, Shut Up by Blink-182, Institutionalized by Suicidal Tendencies, because sometimes all you want is a Pepsi, The Pros and Cons of Breathing by Fall Out Boy, and Wooderson by the Gaslight Anthem. I was very on brand this week, basically.
So I think I'd pick... I don't know why I'd pick these, but I would listen to these. Probably because I could sing really loud to them. I'd pick Interstate Love Song by Stone Temple Pilots. I'd pick Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'd probably pick like Heart Shaped Box by Nirvana. Probably just because they're like songs that you can be mad at and I can sing and just get over it.
Picking your comfort songs.
Yeah.
Something that you feel comfortable.
Right.
Calm.
Maybe White Wedding by Billy Idol, because that's my karaoke jam.
Part 1 or part 2?
It just makes me laugh. 1.
None of that White Wedding Part 2 nonsense. Get out of here. What podcast do you think this is?
Good call out, though. Although I did have some 80s jams like Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Ooh.
Is that by Tears for Fears?
That is by Tears for Fears.
And that's just a fun song to sing to. So just fun songs. That's why I like Smoko, because I can sing to Smoko. I know the lyrics. And it's fun to do an Australian accent sometimes just to...
Shake things up a little bit.
Right. Sometimes you just want to get in that playful area after you've been... so like uptight, so.
My B-sides are Sad Machine by Porter Robinson and La Di Da by Eveline.
Oh, good choice, man. Talk about deep callback right there.
That one album we bought one time for like $5 at a Best Buy. That's right, Sean.
And it was great.
Getting those high school deep cuts. Well, Tyler, if people want to raid your high school CD collection, where can they do that?
Hey, everybody. You can find my design illustration work at rudepets.club, and you can find me on the socials as Rudepets Club on Instagram and Twitter.
Sean, once you're off Smoko, where can the people talk to you?
Oh, they can find me at TellySean on Instagram and Twitter.
And if you want some more Yelly boy bands in your life, I have lots of recommendations. You can tweet at me at TC Olmstead. If you like what we do here at No Repeat, please leave us a review on your podcast app of choice, or tweet in a challenge at No Repeat Pod. You can also email those to norepeatpod@gmail.com. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll be back next week with 3 more songs on another episode of No Repeat.